What's up, guys? Welcome back. I was thinking for this episode about, the quarterback carousel that's going to be happening this offseason, and, the flurry of quarterbacks are going to be, I think, moving places, starting somewhere new, where organizations are going to move on from their guy, or they're going to let a guy get a second chance somewhere else, or a quarterback's trying to get out of a situation because it isn't the best for him. And of course, when I say that, I'm talking about Deshaun Watson, but I think there are more guys besides that who are going to be finding new homes in 2022, 2021 to 2022. But I think a lot of them are going to be traded. There actually aren't even really that many free agents. It's pretty much just Dak Prescott, and I believe he'll probably end up being a Cowboy because it seems like they want him there, and it seems like they really need him there. So obviously you can check that one off. Dak Prescott staying in Dallas, I don't think there's going to be much to keep him from doing that. It would have to be a ridiculous contract from somewhere else. His home is in Dallas. But there are other guys like Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, Teddy Bridgewater, Carson Wentz. The list goes on. But those are pretty much the five main guys who I think are going to be finding a new home this offseason. Plus, whatever happens with Deshaun Watson, I believe a quarterback will be in that deal to go to Houston. Like a Jimmy Garoppolo, a Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know, Tua Tagovailoa maybe. But we'll start with that. We'll start with Deshaun. So I think, best case scenario for Deshaun would be, of course, San Fran. I'm sure everyone here can agree with that. The weapons, the O-line, the running game, the coaching, the defense, the area. Besides Miami, it's the best place for him to go because Florida has no taxes, but we're talking football here. I think if he goes to a team like the 49ers, it's like, Super Bowl bound immediately. Like, it'll be they'll be revamped without a quarterback weighing them down like Jimmy Garoppolo does. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the answer. I actually don't know what happened. He actually signed a huge contract, so wherever he goes, they're picking up that contract along with shedding Deshaun. So that's in this trade idea. If Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded somewhere else, then the 49ers are probably going to end up paying whatever is left on his contract, sadly. But I think if Deshaun goes there, it's kind of just the beginning of a dynasty almost. It's his division now, or his conference, the NFC. He takes over that, and he has all these weapons, this O line, this running game, not to mention a really vaunted defense on the other side with a great head coach and a young head coach who gets the new game, and I think that could be the most beneficial place for him. I think we can all agree that him on the 49ers is a scary sight for the rest of the NFL, and we might see Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes every year in the Super Bowl. So, very cool idea, him going to the 49ers. I think the other idea would be Miami, most likely. I heard today that the Panthers are in the mix for him. That would actually be pretty cool. I think the Panthers have a lot more work to do besides quarterback. They have the generational talent in Christian McCaffrey on their team. If they get Deshaun too, it's one of those cool. They had it with Cam Newton, but, he faded away, and I actually think he's going to be unemployed next year unless he wants to be a backup, which it seems that he does not want to. So, might be a broadcast guy soon. I think that in Carolina, Deshaun would struggle more than he would in San Fran, but not as much as he did in Houston. It would be almost like a building thing because they have to work on the defense a lot in Carolina. That is probably the biggest problem. They have, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. They have the offense. They have a good, decent O-line. There's work to be done for the Panthers. The team's kind of waiting for him in San Fran and in Miami. The team is kind of waiting for him in Miami a little bit. They need some help on offense, but the defense is there. And that's how you get a young quarterback to win. A defense to back him up, a few weapons, let him try and create something on offense, but get stops on defense. So he has room to work. So Miami is probably, I think, what might most likely happen. That are 49ers, because Miami has a lot of pieces. They have a lot of trade pieces to get him. They have a lot of first-round picks in the future. They have Tua Tagovailoa can be put into that trade to replace a first-round pick, which could be very beneficial because they could get a weapon with one of those first-rounders. I know they want to keep that number 3 overall pick. I know it. I actually don't want to give it back. They would be giving that to Houston, and that's Houston's pick originally. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I think that Miami has the most value to give. I think that San Fran doesn't actually San Fran has the least value out of those three teams. So I think they have a very unlikely push for him, but I think best case San Fran, second best Dolphins, worst case kind of likely Panthers. Everyone's talking New England. If you went to New England, that'd be pretty insane. I feel like everyone in the NFL wants to put their hat in the ring because this is one of those guys that's not going to come around again. So it's true that everyone has a chance, but I think, of course, obviously, other teams have a better chance than most because they have the picks, they have the money, they have whatever it takes to get a guy like Deshaun Watson on the team, especially with the cap going down this year. So we'll move on from him. We'll go to Matt Ryan next. I don't know where he's going to go. I know that they're talking about blowing it up in Atlanta, which is not a bad idea. They're thinking about trading Julio, thinking about trading Matt Ryan. It's likely and unlikely that he leaves. There's a good chance they keep him and they bring in a quarterback in the draft to sit behind him this year because not a lot of teams don't like to blow it up. That's the Miami Dolphins thing to do, and it worked out, but it took time. Fans don't want to sit through that. Atlanta Falcons fans have been sitting through some bad years already, so they don't want to do that per se, but if they have to, they will. A return on Matt Ryan might be a second or a third right now. I don't know if he's first-round pick material, especially after last season, so they'll see what they can get. Julio Jones, on the other hand, probably like an Antonio Brown deal, third and a fifth, unfortunately. Maybe a second and a fourth. It's hard. You only really give up first-rounders for guys like Minka Fitzpatrick or Laramie Tunsil or Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes or, generational talent, so those guys are both on the back end of their career. I think if Matt Ryan were to go anywhere, I think New England. New England is a definite landing spot for so many guys because they just need a quarterback. Maybe Chicago. Chicago's a good place. I think they're ready to move on from Mitch. Let that go because they're a quarterback away from winning some serious games and making a serious push into the latter part of the year. So I think that's another option. But they would not get a very large return on their investment. They'd get small money, but they would maybe get someone to pick up the contract on Matt Ryan because it is not small. So he's a little bit less interesting. I think wherever he goes, he's got 2 or 3 good years and he kind of, washes away. He's only like 34, 35, I believe, a little bit younger than Aaron Rodgers. So maybe he plays into his 40s. I don't think he's going to age as well as a Tom Brady, Drew Brees, or Phillip Rivers, or Big Ben, or Aaron Rodgers. I think he's just going to keep getting a little bit worse, although he's given us some good memories. He's never really been the winner, though, much like Phillip Rivers. So, the next one I wanted to talk about was, can't remember. Oh, Carson Wentz. This screams Bill Belichick. This one is just like, they'd have to have the Eagles take a majority of the contract, first of all, because no one wants to pay him that much money. I think he actually is probably going to get cut by the Eagles before he gets traded because they're going to be like, we'll just wait for that guy to be a free agent. Smart thing to do. Bill Belichick thing to do. And the Patriots are at the top of the waivers right now because they're so bad. Not at the top, but closer to the top than they used to be. So I think Carson Wentz might fall into Bill Belichick's lap, a Randy Moss job, a Darrelle Revis job, Well, Darrelle Revis was still good, but, revitalize guys' careers. Give them that second chance to be the guy you want to be. They want to do it with Cam Newton, but I think he was long gone. Carson Wentz is someone that it could happen to. If he goes to New England, I think he's got a chance. We've seen him do some pretty spectacular things. It's just unfortunate that he was on a pretty bad team for so long. So, screams Bill Belichick. I think if he doesn't go anywhere, I don't know where else he might go. It's got to be New England for me, unless New England gets Deshaun Watson. So, and then the last guy I want to talk about was Matt Stafford. I think that the Lions are done with him. Would love to see the Steelers make a push for him because he's still young, a great competitor, great arm, great quarterback, bad team. Put him on the Steelers, let Ben retire, push Ben away, whatever it has to be. I don't think it's going to happen. It would be nice. Matt Stafford's a great plug-and-play guy. But he would fit the Steelers scheme perfectly. If not, again, Chicago, New England, great places to go. I don't think he will be a Lion at the end of the year. Unlike Matt Ryan, I think they're ready to move on and go somewhere else. I think draft, they've been trying too hard with him for too long. There's something wrong in Detroit. It's been wrong for a long time. They had him, they had their guy, and it just didn't work out, I guess. So I think they're ready to kind of blow that up, move forward. New head coach, new D coordinator, do everything, just kind of start from scratch and go forward, get a new quarterback, someone young, Zach Wilson, Kyle Trask. I mean, actually, Mac Jones over Kyle Trask. But, I think they're going to draft it, move forward, and that's kind of how the quarterback carousel is going to shake out, if you ask me. So, thanks, guys. Catch you later.